All right, let's jump right in. We talk about cost all the time, right? How much for this, how much for that. But what if we looked at our entire lives that way? Today, we're going to view life through a totally different lens. Think of it like a balance sheet, but for your time, your energy, your very existence.
So I've got a question for you, and I want you to really think about it. Are you spending your life's resources wisely? It sounds like a simple question, doesn't it? But you know the answer, well, it might be a lot more complicated than you think. Let's dig in.
Okay, so to get to the bottom of this, we need to understand what our source material calls life's core equation. And don't worry, it's actually super straightforward.
So, first up, your resources. Think about it. The moment you're born, you're handed this starter pack. It's got a finite amount of time, a certain amount of energy, and, well, your life itself. That's it. That's your starting capital. It's everything you've got to work with, and here's the kicker. There are no refunds.
All right, so you've got your resources. Next, you're given 3 missions. Yeah, missions. First is to resolve karma, and that just means settling all your debts. We're not just talking money here, but all the emotional stuff, the relational loose ends, the whole shebang. Second, you've got to appreciate existence. I mean, you're supposed to actually enjoy the ride, right? Experience happiness, feel free. And third, and this is a big one, sublimate your being, which is a fancy way of saying you're here to upgrade your life, to level up to a higher state of being.
And this is where it all comes together. See, everything we do, every single choice, has a cost. And what are you paying with? Your life's resources. So the real goal here, the secret sauce, isn't just to do your missions. It's to get them done with the lowest possible cost. It's all about being efficient with your own existence.
Now, to really hammer this point home, the source material tells this great little story. On the surface, it seems super simple, but trust me, it's got this hidden, really profound meaning about how we're all living our lives.
Okay, so picture this. You've got 100 people. They're all standing at the Cape of Good Hope, way down in South Africa, and they all have one single goal: get to Alaska. That's it. The destination is crystal clear. But here's where it gets interesting. They split into 2 groups. You've got the walker, who right away just starts heading north, on foot. Then you have the flyer, who thinks, you know what, I want to be smart about this. The flyer decides to stay put at the Cape, get a job, and save up enough cash to just buy a plane ticket. So, here's the million-dollar question. Who gets to Alaska first? The person trudging across entire continents on foot, or the one who plans to hop on a plane and be there in a matter of hours? I mean, it's a no-brainer, right? Or is it?
You'd think the answer is totally obvious. But this is where we run into what the source calls the paradox of the path. See, the most logical route isn't always the one that actually gets you where you're going.
Because the answer, and this is going to sound nuts, is this. The walker arrives first, and the flyer, the one with the smart plan, they arrive last, if they even arrive at all.
I know. Can't figure it out, right? That's what the source says. It knows this sounds completely backward. So let's break down why this crazy paradox is actually true.
I mean, look, the flyer's logic makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Why would you spend years walking when you could just work for a few months, maybe a year tops, buy a ticket, and boom, you're there? It seems like the most efficient choice for sure.
But here's the trap. It's a fatal flaw in the plan. In the process of earning that money, the goal starts to shift. The how becomes the what. The money, the job, the little business they build down at the Cape of Good Hope, that becomes the new focus. And the original purpose, that big dream of the journey to Alaska, it just gets forgotten.
And that, right there, that's the real cost we're talking about. The incredible, devastating cost of forgetting why you even started in the first place.
So this brings it all back to you, right now. You have to ask yourself, and be really honest, are you actually on your way to Alaska? Or are you stuck at the Cape of Good Hope? Are you endlessly busy, just grinding away, telling yourself you're preparing for a journey you might never actually start?
So, how many people fall into this trap? Well, according to the source material, the number of people who never really start their journey, it's just staggering. We're talking about 99%.
Yeah, look at this. This chart really paints a sobering picture of that 99%. Only a tiny 1% of people are actually on the path, walking towards their destination. Everyone else, they're stuck at the starting line, mistaking all the preparation for the journey itself.
And the consequences of being stuck? They are huge. First, all those precious resources, your time, your energy, your life, they're just wasted.
Second, instead of paying off those old debts, you actually start racking up new ones. And finally, your life doesn't get that upgrade we talked about. In fact, for a lot of people, it actually downgrades. So this whole story, this entire metaphor, it's all designed to lead you to one final, really important question. Are you actually walking to Alaska, whatever your Alaska is, or are you just building a really successful, really comfortable business at the Cape? It's a question only you can answer. But figuring out the difference, well, that might just change the entire cost of your life's journey.